Hello everyone, I'm Rob Smith, the Smith in the Black with a Strat Time Report, and we got a simultaneous break going on the dailies here. So let's take a look at the SPY. So yesterday we had the gap in reverse, so technically this was a two down, right? And just ran out of time. Otherwise, these two would be an outside bar of that. So what this is a 2-2 reversal because this is a two down, right? And then boom, 2-2 reversal. So when people are like, I think it's going to fade, I'm like, do you? Because you got almost everything two in its way up, right, on the dailies, right? So two down, two up. It's also when things occur. That matters, right? So it's a Friday. So what that means is we're going out on the highs of the week, right? So if anybody thinks this is going to fade, they'd be wrong, right? So they'd be wrong. And if it's going to fade, it's got to fade on the 61st, right? Here. So we got a new 60 to start off, right? And look at this. Ever since yesterday's inside 60. What did I say yesterday? Either side of this, right? Boom. It's called a measured move. Gap down, green, inside, measured move, and then some. Still good, right? And this thing's still going. And if that works, what did that do? That set up the 2-2 reversal days on almost everything. There's a lot of threes, a lot of outside days, and they're 3-2 and on the way up. But as far as fading back down, you'd have to have a lower low on the 60, which you do not have. We have not had that yet, right? So still good. So if you got out too early, shame on you. All right, still good. Right. So now we're going to find out. We got a new 60. We're also coming to the end of the month, right? So what are we setting up for the month? You got some distance on this baby here, but you got a whole month. So where do we close out next week? Because at this point, we could be 3-2-2 and go right back to the highs, right? But we got some room to take out this month now because we are technically a two down and you're still red on the month, right? So we'll see. But for right now, as far as we know, almost everything, and I'm going to get the scan going to show you. I like to show you the scanner to be like what's going on in the market, right? Two down, two up SPY. If you go to QQQ, what's going on here? Two down, two up. These become an outside bar of that. It just ran out of time. It would have been an outside day. It just ran out of time, right? What also occurred here? The inside 60. Did I talk about that yesterday? I did. Down, recover, sideways, measured move, and then some. Here's your Momo hammer. There was a chance to get in, right? They sold them down, but brought them right back up, right? And that's called a momentum hammer because it's a two up. A regular hammer would be a two down or inside, but this or a two down. But this is a two up, right? So anybody got caught short in here thinking it was going to roll back down, boom, right there in your face. Also setting up the hammer for the week, for next week so far, right? You're going to have some distance on this month. And so this month's going to be interesting because we have a lot of inside months. The broader averages broke, or at least these two did. But you're still going to have a lot of inside months to start off the new month. Going to the highs as I speak, as we should. I'm going to show you that scanner in just a minute. But if you go to the small cappers, and the small cappers just barely took it out here, doji on the month. But once again, once you have like a heightened VIX, like we do, you're going to see a lot of things look the same, right? And so you can go through things all you want, but a lot of things look the same, right? The two down, the two up reversal day, right? Setting up what? Rev Strat week. Inside week, breaks down, stops them all out, and comes back up for the Rev Strat, right? So we'll be keeping an eye on that one next week for sure. Still good on the 60s. We call this a sideways inside bar, and you see these two? This was inside. That slightly poked up and then came back in. But when you had those other two indices breaking, those insides, these two were still inside of this. So when it broke this, right, that's an inside bar in a 120-minute chart, right? It is. You can take it right there because the other ones were going. That was a simultaneous break on the 60 to get everything going. Now you're two down, two up. If you go to the Dow Jones Diamonds, what's going on here? Two down, two up. Reversal day, right? And if that works, that's going to set up another what? Hammer. Higher highs, lower lows. Here's your broadening formation. Like so. And there you go, right? So for the month, It's again, we got a lot of these months that were stuck in the middle. How are we going to get out of this stuff? So the good thing is, like I said, we have a lot of inside months and a lot of other things that will tell us what the break looks like coming in the new month, right? But we're going to let that open and see what happens there. So you've got a lot of these things looking similar, but if you go to like XLV, what's going on here? To down, to up, right? And that gives you the outside week, and you can see the higher highs in the lower low broadening formation there as well, and potentially the hammer on the month. And look at these 60s. Just gone. This is gone, man. This is gone. See ya. Because a lot of the things that we looked at were overnight, where a lot of things were outside bars or sitting right near the highs. But then you had stuff like Johnson & Johnson, Red Hammer, Rev Strat, right here. Inside day, down, and then boom, Rev Strat right here. And it didn't gap either. It opened and then took that out, which means you can take that as soon as it took that out, right? That's what we're looking for. And you got it. All right. So once again, these monthlies a little hairy. How are we going to get outside of these months next month? But you've got almost everything trying to close out on the highs of the week. So you're much closer to not only being a 2 down, 2 up on the day, but also on the week to start next week. Right? Everything's fine and dandy, ain't it? If you go to XME, here's something we look for. The outside day by taking out both sides, pokes up, the 322 to take this out, and then what? Hammer counter shooter to come back here. Broadening formation is getting bigger, thus the name. And there you go, the hammer, 2-2 reversal day, like so many things, blasting off, and that's going to give you a lot of the steel, STLD, boom, 2 down, 2 up, reversal. Still an inside month, but getting closer to the upside. Oh, it's getting close to the upside. And that's going to tell you to look at new core. Boom, off she goes. 3-2 monther going into the highs, even down to the food chain with letter X. Here she comes, taking out last month's highs. Big outside weaker there. Steel having a nice day. And like I said, we were looking at the things that really didn't blast off yesterday, because when you have this follow through, right? A lot of these things, they just forgot about them, or they were ready to let them die. Triple M, having all sorts of trouble on the month, but setting up that weekly hammer like almost everything. But here it was. The market rallied back yesterday to make it green, but it was still a 2 down. Back through previous range. 2 down, 2 up, looking to take this out, and these two are going to become an outside bar of all that. You see? And off she goes. If we go to LMT, gapper from yesterday, it was up, but it started to fade, right? However, they liked it, because if you look at it here, 2 up, there's a 3, 2, 2 on the week going into the highs, taking out last month's highs. This momentum hammer right here, right? That's a 2 up, right? So anybody got caught short in here? Hello, bam, 2 up, LMT. That tells you to look at Northrop Grumman. Here, I want to change this layout here to get a few things here so you can see it. So one of the things you want to always be doing too is looking through all the sectors, right? Where do you want to be? Okay, so for today, if you look at XLE, nope, that's still an inside day. So see you next week, right? Because you've got the outside day, the inside day, the outside day, inside day. They're chopping them up, but good in here. They want nobody in for this thing, because you got crude, UCO, 3-2 to the downside, right? And that sets up potentially peace, 2-2 weaker back down if they want to bring that crude in, but we'll see. If we go to CARG, boom, good. Now you got a mother bar problem. These inside 60s, but nice little 2-2 reversal on the month and a big ripper day. It's also 2 down because taking out the lows, 2 up, off she goes. If you go to ISPO, all sorts of fun here. Look at this. The Rev Strat setup on the day. Inside day, 2 down, boom. And this goes from here, 37, 31, up to 71.71, right out the chute. So like I said, if you look around into the sectors and stuff, you'll see that. You want to play with gold today? Nope, nope, nope. And then we saw yesterday we had weakness in XLP. Guess what's not happening? That weakness rolling back down. 2-2 reversal XLP right back up, right? And had Proctor was down, now coming back, 2-2 reversal, all that kind of stuff. Kimberly Clark, and these guys had some mountains to climb, but they're coming back. XLP, right? So if we look at Xlf Financials, remember they were weak for a while yesterday. Boom, 2-2 reversal on the day, right back in your face, right? Also setting up that hammer. Doji on the month, that's a problem going forward. But, like I said, when you have a heightened VIX, you're going to have a lot of charts looking very similar. Bunch of hammers on the week. And so we're going to be watching how that plays out. If there's anything to the downside, you have ZS on a gap down, right? But the market's so strong, right? It's really tough to go after some of these things that are weak because you've got a market that's just roaring to the upside because of all the twos, and I'm going to get to that scan in just a second. But do you know who's short for this move? Nobody. After yesterday, nobody, right? That's a good thing. So if we do start to fade at all, ZS, Foot Locker, same deal. Gaps down, rallies back. Who's short for this? Nobody. Boom. Down to the lows. So still skirting the lows here. These guys having some problems, but like I said, the overall market's so strong, they might not roll. VICR inside on the 60 right now. Once again, who's short for this move? Nobody. After this, no way. And then boom, kicker. So you can see this is called a continuity entry. You see how it rallied back, but then as soon as it goes red again, you can hit that because you got full time frame continuity to the downside. You're an inside week to the downside. You can hit it right there because we're going to take out this pivot here, right? And if hopefully more, but you're inside on the 60 now. OPEN. And 3-2 to the downside. You know who's short for this? Nobody. Boom, down she goes. Right. Once again, you can hit that here on the continuity because you can see this here on the weekly. The slight 2 up by taking out the highs, and then boom, you're going to take all these pivots out in one shot. Certainly did that. So if I go to the scan here, let's scan for who's taking out yesterday's lows. Nobody. All right, some of the gapper list, LPSN, but that's up $2 from the opening. ZS we know, right? Foot Locker we know, but look at these names. Nobody. It's a who's who of nobodies that's doing that, right? So if we go to the volume scan and we go to yesterday's highs, who's taking out the highs? Everybody. AMD, Apple, Ford, SQ Bank, Nvidia, American Airlines, CCL, Facebook, Lucid, PayPal, CLF, Tesla, Intel, everybody. And that's what's called a simultaneous break. Almost everything is a 2 up, right? So we can expect this market strength to continue for the rest of the day unless you can have a simultaneous break on the 60s, right? Which you're probably not going to have, but that would be your only hope of a fade. Right now, everything's 2ing its way up. It's a simultaneous break. They're buying everything in sight, right? Pretty much outside of the energies, right? So we're going to continue to look for shorter term pullback reversals to get in on this stuff for the rest of the day. So just be aware of that. So if you're trying to fade this, good luck. All right, hope everybody had a great week. Has an even better weekend. I'm Rob Smith, Smith the Black. Strat Time Report.